Okay, so let's be honest. Job hunting, it can feel a little bit like you're lost in the woods.
Yeah.
But what if I told you there's like a map and a group of really awesome, experienced hikers ready to guide you?
Sounds good to me.
Right. Well, that's basically what Phil Terry's Never Search Alone. It's all about that. This guy, he spent like decades coaching thousands of job seekers. And he's basically saying, forget everything you think you know about resumes and cover letters.
Yeah, he really flips the script with this book. He's arguing that, like, the traditional way we do this, going it alone, that's actually what's holding us back.
Interesting.
Yeah, and instead he's saying, form a job search council.
A what?
Yeah, a job search council. It's a group of like 4 to 6 peers, and they're like your support system, your sounding board, your accountability partners, all throughout your job search.
Okay, that's a big change.
Yeah.
So like no more holding up with a thesaurus trying to make the perfect resume. It's like connect with people first.
Exactly. Terry's seen firsthand how, like, the emotional roller coaster of a job search can derail even, the most qualified candidates.
Yeah.
So this JSC, it's designed to kind of address those anxieties, those moments of self-doubt, that fear of putting yourself out there.
So it's like a pep squad and a therapy group.
Yeah.
All rolled into one. I mean, I could see how that would be helpful, but doesn't that like slow down the process? Shouldn't I be, applying for jobs yesterday?
Well, it might seem kind of counterintuitive,
Yeah.
but Terry's arguing that slowing down to actually build this support system leads to better results, faster results.
Really?
Yeah, and remember, Mara Castro, she was Warby Parker's first employee.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The book talks about how she actually used a JSC to help her make these strategic career decisions, and ultimately that's how she landed her dream job.
Interesting. So there's this other story in the book about Olivia, I think it was Olivia, who she kept bouncing between jobs and never really finding the right fit. Could that be because she was going at it alone?
Absolutely. Her anxieties kind of kept her from reaching out for help, and that led to some hasty decisions and ultimately, more job hopping.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And Terry also highlights some interesting research on something called mutually reinforcing activity.
Was that?
Well, it basically shows that seeing your peers take action, it actually motivates you to do the same.
Ah.
So by surrounding yourself with a really proactive JSC, you're more likely to stay on track and motivated.
It's like that saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But for your career, right? Okay, so I'm sold on this JSC thing, but like, what do we actually DO with this group?
Well, Terry lays out a really clear 5-step social search methodology.
Next steps, okay?
Yeah. First, you form your JSC. Then you embark on what he calls a listening tour.
Okay.
And this is all about market research, but on yourself.
Hold on. More listening. I thought the whole point of getting a new job was to stop listening to my inner critic.
Right, but this isn't about that negative voice. It's about understanding your true passions, your strengths, and your weaknesses.
Okay.
And then figuring out what the market actually needs.
So instead of just like blindly submitting my resume to every job board out there,
Yeah.
I'm taking a step back and saying, okay, what do I love to do?
Mm.
And where does that overlap with what employers are actually looking for?
Exactly. And for this listening tour, Terry's got some pretty unconventional techniques. One is something he calls reverse exit interviews.
Reverse exit interview. Okay, sounds intense.
Yeah, it can be, but it's so valuable.
Right.
You reach out to your former colleagues and you ask them, what could I have done better?
Oh, wow.
It takes a lot of courage to ask for that kind of brutal honesty, but those people, they've seen you in action. They know your work style. Their feedback can be really, really valuable.
I see. So it's like getting a performance review after you've left the company. And since they're not your boss anymore, they might be more willing to be honest. But ouch, that could sting a little.
It could. But that's where the JSC comes in, right? They can help you process that feedback, kind of extract those valuable nuggets and prevent you from spiraling.
Right.
Remember, they're your support system.
They got my back.
Yeah.
Okay, so reverse exit interviews, check. What other tools are in Terry's listening toolkit?
Well, there's the golden question.
Okay.
And it's deceptively simple. You ask your network, if you were in my shoes, how would you approach this job search?
Oh, I like that. It's like tapping into the collective wisdom of your network. You're basically crowdsourcing your career strategy.
Precisely. And another surprising tactic is to view recruiters as resources, not just gatekeepers.
Wait, really? We're supposed to ask recruiters for advice? I always feel like I'm just pitching myself to them, hoping they'll pick me.
I know, it's a different mindset. But remember, recruiters are experts in the job market. They know what hiring managers are looking for, what skills are hot, and how your experience kind of stacks up.
So instead of sending them like a generic resume and cover letter, I should be like picking their brains about my strengths and weaknesses, basically treating them like consultant.
Exactly. Ask about market trends, company cultures, anything that can give you an edge. Honestly, you'd be surprised how much valuable information they're willing to share.
Okay, so after gathering all this feedback, I'm supposed to know exactly what I want and what the market will pay for. No pressure, right?
Well, it's not about having all the answers right away. It's about using that research to craft what Terry calls your candidate market fit statement.
Okay, that sounds important. Tell me more.
So think of it as like a super concise elevator pitch for your entire job search.
Okay.
For example, seeking a chief of staff role in a mid-sized financial firm,
Hmm.
or seeking a VP of communications role in a tech startup with a social mission.
Okay.
It helps you clarify your goals, target your networking, and even spot those red flags in companies that might not be a good fit.
Speaking of red flags, wasn't there a story in the book about a guy named Andy who learned this the hard way?
Oh, yes. Andy was so focused on getting a COO position that he ignored some pretty clear warning signs about a particular company. He ended up joining a company that was, shall we say, less than reputable?
Oh, no.
Yeah, and they were later investigated for fraud.
Oh, wow.
So if he had paid attention to that market feedback and really honed in on his candidate market fit statement, he might have avoided that whole mess.
Ooh, that's a cautionary tale for sure. So let's say I've done my research, crafted my candidate market fit statement, dodged the red flags, and I actually get a job offer. Is that where the JSC magic ends?
Not even close. The JSC helps you negotiate what you need to succeed, not just the salary.
You negotiate.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm terrible at that. It always feels so confrontational.
I know it's a common feeling, but remember, you have your JSC to support you. And Terry emphasizes that negotiation isn't just about the money. It's about considering all four legs of the negotiation stool.
4 legs. Okay, now I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So the first leg is salary, of course, but then you've got your budget for your work, the resources you need, and the support you'll receive. Things like mentoring, professional development opportunities.
Wow, I've never even thought about negotiating for those things. It feels so presumptuous.
It might feel that way, but research shows that asking gets you more 83% of the time.
Really?
Yeah, and having your JSC to prep with and boost your confidence makes it so much easier to do it. The book even talks about this woman, Lauren, whose JSC helped her secure $200,000 more in compensation and crucial support by, helping her articulate her unique value to the company.
Okay, that's incredible. So I've landed the job, everyone's celebrating. Now, W, can I ditch the JSC?
Nope. The JSC helps you transition smoothly into your new role and avoid all those common first 90-day pitfalls.
Hold on, so this isn't just a job search council, it's like a career support system for life.
You got it. Terry's even working on a book about converting your JSC into a career council for ongoing growth. But for now, let's focus on those crucial first 90 days. One of the things Terry really stresses is the importance of back-channeling, even after you've got the job.
Wait, I thought back channeling was like for vetting potential employers.
It is, but it's also valuable once you're actually in the role. You can gather intel on your new boss, team dynamics, the company culture. It's like having a secret decoder ring for your new workplace.
I love that. So it's about being proactive, gathering info to avoid like problems or misunderstandings down the road.
Exactly. Terry also recommends something called the How Can I Fail exercise.
How can I fail?
Yeah. It's a bit counterintuitive, but it's all about anticipating challenges.
By like thinking about failing.
Yeah, kind of. You invert your thinking.
Okay, explain that to me. I'm all about celebrating wins, not dwelling on potential failures.
I hear you, but think about it like this. It's not about being pessimistic. It's about being prepared. One of the case studies in the book, this woman, Chandra, she used this technique before leading a huge customer service team.
Okay.
By proactively identifying potential problems, she was able to address them right away, from day one.
I see. So it's like planning for a rainy day, even if you're hoping for sunshine. You're not like manifesting failure. You're just being realistic and strategic.
Precisely. And another great tip is to connect with people already in similar roles, but in different companies for like peer coaching calls.
It's like mentorship, but from people who are in the trenches dealing with the same stuff you are.
Exactly. They can offer great advice, insights, and just like a listening ear when you need to vent about that new boss who micromanages everything.
Okay, this is all making sense, but there's one more thing that really stuck with me. Terry talks about creating a user manual for
Yeah.
your new team. Isn't that a bit, I don't know, presumptuous?
I can see why you'd think that. But it's actually a great tool for setting clear expectations and making collaboration smoother. It's basically a document that outlines your work style, preferences, your communication style, even your weaknesses.
Hold on. We're supposed to share our weaknesses with our new team. That seems counterintuitive.
It might feel that way, but think about it. When you're upfront about your weaknesses, you create this environment of like trust and transparency. It also helps prevent micromanagement because your team knows how you operate best and where you might need a little help.
So it's like saying, hey, this is where I'm awesome and this is where I might need you guys. It takes the guesswork out of working together.
Exactly. And it sets the tone for a more collaborative and supportive workplace.
You know, this whole never search alone philosophy, it's really resonating with me. It's not just about finding a job, it's a whole different way of approaching your career.
That's a great point. It's about recognizing that we're all works in progress and, success is a team sport.
And this seems like it's a growing trend, right? Like you mentioned peer councils becoming more popular for leadership development and stuff.
Absolutely. You've got organizations like YPO, Vistage, even Lean In Circles. They're all about bringing people together to learn from each other and support each other's growth.
So it's like having a personal board of directors for your career,
Yeah.
helping you make smart decisions, stay ahead of the game, and reach your goals.
Precisely. And, this isn't even a new idea. Terry talks about how business leaders have been, quietly running their own private councils for decades.
Like a secret society of successful people. Tell me more.
Well, not exactly secret, but definitely strategic. The book mentions how Warren Buffett formed kind of a private council with trusted peers back when he was transitioning out of his hedge fund in the 60s. And Karen Wicker, she's an author and former Google exec, she actually put together a support group of job seekers after the dot-com bubble burst.
So it's not just about finding a job. It's about tapping into a powerful network that can help you throughout your entire career. It's like having advisors, cheerleaders, and therapists all rolled into one.
You got it. And there's so much research now on the benefits of these peer support groups. Studies show they can boost your confidence, reduce stress, and help you make better decisions. And that's especially important during those times of transition, like a job search when anxieties are high.
It's like having a built-in support system to help you through the ups and downs, the wins, the setbacks. Right?
Exactly. And that feeling of belonging, knowing you're not alone, it can make all the difference.
So for our listeners who are feeling overwhelmed by the job search or maybe just feeling a little lost in their careers, what's like one thing they can do based on what we've talked about today?
I'd say start by reaching out to your network, identify 3 to 5 people that you trust and respect, and just share what you're going through. See if they'd be interested in forming a JSE or even just, having some regular check-in calls to support each other.
That's a great starting point. And remember, you're not alone in this.
Yeah.
Never search alone, right?
Right. And if you're looking for more guidance, check out Phyl Terry's Never Search Alone. And for even deeper dives on all sorts of books, be sure to subscribe to the One Book a Day YouTube channel. We've got links down in the episode description.
It's a total game changer for anyone who wants to take control of their career.
Absolutely. And one thing that really stood out to me about Terry's book is the emphasis on follow-up and gratitude.
Oh, yeah. That's so important. It's easy to get caught up in the taking aspect of networking, but it's crucial to give back and show appreciation.
Exactly. It's about nurturing those relationships, staying in touch, offering support to others when they need it.
Like creating this virtuous cycle of support and success, right?
Precisely. And that's really what Never Search Alone is all about. It's about recognizing that we're all in this together. And, by helping each other, we can achieve some pretty amazing things.
So well said. What resonated most with you today? Was there a particular anecdote or exercise that stuck with you?
What really hit home for me was the focus on the emotional side of the job search. We often focus so much on the practical stuff, like the resume, the interviews, that we forget about the impact it has on our mental health.
It's true. The job search can be a real roller coaster. Excitement, hope, disappointment, rejection. It's a lot to handle, especially on your own.
Exactly. And that's why that support system, that JSC, is so key. It's a safe space to vet, to process those emotions, and help you get back on track when you're feeling down.
Like a team of personal cheerleaders who are invested in your success along the way.
Exactly.
Okay, so for our listeners who are ready to take action, what's one thing they can do today to start applying this never search alone philosophy?
I'd say start by picking those 3 to 5 people from your network. Reach out to them, just see if they'd be open to forming a JSC or even just having those regular check-in calls. It's a small step that can have a big impact.
Absolutely. And remember, you're not alone in this. Never search alone. It's so easy to feel like you're, all alone when you're job hunting or even just trying to figure out your career. Yeah.
It really is. And this whole approach, it actually fits in really well with what we're seeing in the job market these days. Like the days of staying at one company forever, those are long gone.
So true. It seems like everyone's hopping between jobs more than ever. And with like remote work and the gig economy, it's totally changed how we think about careers. It's like the old career ladder. It's been tossed out and replaced with, I don't know, a jungle gym.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. And that's why having that support system like a JSC or a career council, it's so important, right? It helps you deal with all these changes, adapt to new places, and constantly, build those skills you need to succeed.
It's like having your own personal board of directors for your career, helping you make those, those tough decisions and stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly. And you know what? This never search alone thing, it's not just for job hunting. It applies to like anyone facing any kind of professional challenge.
So like starting a business, asking for a raise, or even just figuring out what you want to do with your life.
Absolutely. It's all about building that support system, getting advice from people who've been there, and remembering that, success is a team effort.
So it's not just about never searching for a job alone. It's about never facing any professional thing alone, right?
Exactly. And I think that's a pretty powerful message.
It really is. So we've talked about a lot today. What would you say is the biggest takeaway for our listeners?
Hmm. I think the key takeaway is, you can do incredible things. You have so much potential, but you don't have to do it alone. Build your support system, tap into all that wisdom in your network, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
So well said. And remember, everyone, we've got links to Phil Terry's book, Never Search Alone, and the One Book a Day YouTube channel in the episode description. Go check them out for more insights and inspiration.
And don't forget to reach out to those people in your network and start building your own job search council. You might be surprised how many people are willing to help and how much you can learn from each other.
And that's a wrap on another deep dive. We hope you found this episode helpful. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. Never search alone.